Welcome to today's session of yoga for strength and vitality. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy, ready to do another yoga class focusing on strength and vitality. So important to be strong, not only physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And yoga is a wonderful vehicle to help us do all that. Let's begin with a pranayama breathing practice. Sitting comfortably cross-legged, with a reasonably straight back. You can rotate the shoulders a couple of times, moving head and neck, just kind of settling into your seated position. And then we'll do a simple pranayama, which is the purification or cleansing breath, using the pinky of the right hand, closing the right nostril, deeply inhale through the left, then switching over with the same pinky, closing the left nostril, inhaling, and then switching over again, exhaling on the left side. Inhaling on the left, switching over, exhale. So the nostril you inhale into, you exhale out of, you inhale into. Switching over with the same hand, the same pinky. And find a rhythm and a depth of breath that feels comfortable for you. Ideally, close your eyes, minimizing the distractions. Making your inhalations and exhalations long and slow, but effortless. And finishing up with an exhalation through the left nostril when you get there. Lower your hand, close your eyes. Just feel what it feels like to do a breathing practice for maybe 3 minutes. It usually helps us to change our state of mind, our state of well-being for the better almost instantly. And then slowly but surely bringing your attention back. Let's begin with warming up our bodies. Rotating the torso a few times in each direction. And you can keep your eyes closed, just move the way your body feels like moving. Sometimes we like to move fast, sometimes we like to move slow. And if you haven't switched, switching directions. Okay, let's begin with Yoga Mudra, reaching around the back, clasping your hands behind the back. With the inhalation, gently arching back. With the exhalation, bending forward, forehead towards the mat, and if comfortable, lifting the arms behind you. Slowly begin to lower the arms onto your back. Release your hands with the inhalation sitting up, pausing with eyes closed. And let's do a seated side stretch, bringing the left hand down next to you. With the inhalation, bringing the right arm out and up and over, arching above your head. And you can bend your supporting elbow a little bit. Maybe you can even bring your forearm onto the mat. And with the inhalation, releasing. Let's move on to the other side right away. Right hand down or right forearm down, opposite arm up, bending over sideways. And releasing, inhaling up. Pausing for a moment with eyes closed. And stretching the left ear to the shoulder, extending the right side of the neck, allowing the head to hang sideways. And right ear to the shoulder. And chin to the chest. Just let the head hang forward. And lifting the head, looking up to the ceiling, stretching the chin up. And head and neck rotations, circling the head a few times clockwise and a few times counterclockwise. Twisting to the left, bring one hand right behind you on the floor, opposite hand to opposite knee, looking over your shoulder, looking back. And releasing to the center, moving on to the other side right away. And releasing to the center. Let's make another round of circles, circling the torso 3 times one way and then 3 times the other way. Stretching the hips, stretching your lower back. And let's stand up, beginning with our standing poses. Let's do Tadasana, the mountain pose first. A great way to adjust our posture, check our posture. Having the feet about hip width apart, lifting the toes up, fanning the toes out as you place them down. Feel your weight is evenly carried on the whole foot, all 4 corners of your feet. You can cup your belly and your lower back, lifting up the front, pushing on the lower back. And lifting the arms up, palms up. And bring the arms back behind you, maybe 1 inch, maybe 2. And let's bring the hands down to the side. When the pinkies touch, turn the palms in. And last but not least, 2 fingers at the chin, pushing the chin back, lengthening your spine with your head and neck. Close your eyes, make a mental note of your pose. Tada is mountain in Sanskrit, Tadasana. Straight and strong like a mountain. This is how we want to walk through life, with a straight spine and squared shoulders. Let's do 5 full yoga breaths from here. Inhaling through the nose with the exhalation, bending forward, hands towards your feet. With the inhalation, rising up, bone by bone. Coming up onto the toes into a V. Need a focal point as we balance on the toes. With the exhalation, bending forward and down. Timing the movement with your breath. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And let's do one more. Bending forward and stretching up into a V. Then coming onto the heels, palms to the chest, pausing with eyes closed. And next we'll do the standing half moon. So bringing your feet closer together. If balance is a challenge, keep them at hip distance apart. With the inhalation, arms up by the ears. Left hand in front of the right, thumbs are locked. Stretching up on the toes. With the next exhalation, coming down onto the heels and bending sideways to your left. Here you can use your left hand to bring that upper arm back by the ear. Just being bent over sideways, like in between two panes of glass. The affirmation for this pose is strength and courage fill my body cells. And releasing the pose with an inhalation, stretching up on the toes, reaching up, coming onto the heels, arms to the side, pausing with eyes closed. For the other side, again, inhaling, lifting the arms up. Now right hand is in front, stretching up on the toes, down onto the heels as you exhale, sideways to your right. With the next inhalation, releasing, standing up straight, stretching on the toes, reaching up. Coming onto the heels, arms to the sides, pausing, eyes closed, breathing deeply. Let's do some triangles. So separating your feet nice and wide. In steps, parallel to each other. Inhaling, arms up, palms forward, arching back gently. With the exhalation, bending forward, left hand to left leg. Your hand might be at your shin, might be at your ankle or at your foot. Centering the head in between your feet and looking up past your outstretched right hand. Place the left hand on the floor in between your feet, about a half a foot forward. Both arms are straight as you look up again. And left hand to right ankle or leg. Bending your opposite arm behind your back, guiding your head towards your knee. This variation is a great hamstring stretch, stretching your leg, the back side of your leg, especially behind the knee and the hamstring. And let's cross over again to the original pose, lifting your arm, looking up. And coming out, untwisting with the arms outstretched to the side, rising up, gently arching back. And let's move on to the other side right away, bending forward as you exhale. Now right hand to right leg, left arm up. And for the variation, right hand on the floor in between your feet, both arms are straight, looking up. Then right hand to left leg, bending your opposite arm behind your back, guiding your head to the knee. And crossing over again, moving into the initial pose, looking up past your outstretched hand. And let's clasp both hands behind your back for center unicorn, lifting the arms up high, guiding your head down low. Keeping the head down, lower the arms onto your back, sliding your hands down, your legs holding on either your shins, your ankles, if you can reach your feet, 2 fingers around the big toes. Tap them with your thumbs, and with the inhalation, lifting your head up, looking up. Keep breathing. This is a very intense stretch of the whole back side of our bodies. And with the exhalation, releasing down. With the inhalation, sliding your hands up your legs, palms, hands to the waist as you step your feet together. Lower the arms to the side, back to Tadasana, eyes closed. And stepping to the front of our mats. With the inhalation, lifting the arms up by the ears, stretching up high. With the exhalation, swan diving forward, keeping your back straight as long as you comfortably can. And just hanging forward, hanging down. If you like, you can move your hips a little bit from side to side. You can also swing your arms from side to side. If you have long arms, and if you're very flexible, like your hands on the floor, you can hold onto your elbows or forearms. Releasing your hands, place your hands next to your feet, separating your hands, and stepping back into downward facing dog. So left foot back and right foot back. Your hands are about shoulder width apart. Feet are about hip width apart, a little closer together. You can pedal your feet, meaning bending one knee as you stretch the opposite heel down. And finding your pose, holding the downward dog in stillness. Placing all the weight onto your left leg and lifting your right leg up behind you for three-legged dog pose. And bending that right knee and lifting that right knee, open the hip to the side. And lower your right foot next to the left and lifting your left leg up. Bending your left knee, open the hip to the side. Keeping the supporting limbs straight and strong. And lower your left foot as well. Coming onto the knees. Tops of the feet on the mat, pushing yourself back onto your heels for extended child's pose. Forehead, forearms resting on the mat, breathing deeply. Coming up onto hands and knees, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. A little cat-cow. So pushing the hands and the knees into the mat, arching your back like an angry cat. And with your inhalation, sagging down and looking up. And a few more times, exhaling, rounding, inhaling, sagging down, looking up. And keeping the spine straight, straighten your left leg, lift it up. Looking down, focal point right underneath you, so head and neck are in line with your spine, and lifting your right arm. And slowly lower your knee, lower your hand. Let's do another cat-cow movement, rounding your spine with the inhalation, sagging down and looking up. And straight, neutral spine. Let's do the other side. Straighten your right leg, lift it up behind you. And your left arm. And slowly lowering down, rounding your back again. Inhaling, sagging down, looking up. With the exhalation, sitting on your heels, pushing yourself back. With the inhalation, sliding forward into Cobra pose, so moving low on the mat. Then bring your hands under your shoulders, elbows are hugging your body as you arch up, looking up, shoulders down, away from the ears. I rise joyfully to meet each new opportunity. And slowly lower down. Keep looking up as you lower down. Releasing your arms to the side, left cheek on the mat, pausing for a moment. For locust pose, make soft twists with your hands, keeping the thumbs on the outside. Place those underneath you. So depending on how long your arms are, they could be under your tummy, could be under your hips or under your thighs. You sit or forehead to the mat. Let's do one leg at a time at first, lifting your left leg up. Supporting yourself with your arms, so pushing the hands and the arms into the mat. And slowly lower your left. And lifting your right leg up. And lower your right leg as well. Let's do a variation where we bend the left leg, so bringing the left foot up and using that as like a kickstand to bring your right leg that stays straight on top of that bent leg and on top of that foot. So your right knee is resting on your left foot. And slowly lower down. And then your right knee and keep your left leg straight. Place it on top of that right foot. And releasing, lowering both legs down. Now pushing the hands and arms into the mat and lifting both legs simultaneously for locust pose. Great strength pose, especially for the lower back. And slowly releasing. Bring the arms out, opposite cheek to the mat, pausing for a moment. And lifting your head, lifting the shoulders, placing the hands underneath your shoulders. Let's see if we can move up into plank pose by curling the toes under and pushing the hands into the mat. Keeping your body straight, holding the plank pose. Pulling the shoulder blades together so the shoulders away from the ears, navel to the spine. And lifting the hips a little bit more, pushing the hands into the mat and coming back to downward facing dog. Make adjustments with your stance if you need to. And begin walking your feet to your hands, placing your palms together, then inhaling, standing up bone by bone, palms at the chest. Breathing deeply. You can also double inhale through the nose, double exhale through the mouth. Let's do warrior two. Hands at the waist, separating your feet nice and wide. Having the left foot out, away from you at an angle. Bending your left knee. So ideally, you have your knee above your heel or above your ankle. You don't want to overextend the knee. Rather have it behind the joint. Torsos upright from the hips, arms parallel to the floor, and looking past your outstretched left fingertips. For reverse warrior, bring your right arm around the back, reaching for the opposite hip or thigh, and left arm up, arching back. Maintain the lunge, looking up, focal point at the ceiling. And coming, bringing your left forearm onto the thigh or onto the knee, and your right arm up for a lunge. For a twist, bringing that right arm around the back again for opposite hip or thigh, twisting, looking up to the ceiling. And let's bring both hands down to your left foot. Swivel the right heel up behind you. And if you have to, you can set that right knee onto the mat, top of the foot on the mat. A little more challenging to keep that leg straight. And bring your left forearm close to your instep. And lifting the opposite arm up, looking up past your outstretched hand. And lower your right hand. Bring the left hand to the outside of the foot and stepping your left foot back into downward facing dog. Chest towards the knees. Good stretch for the back. Lifting your feet towards your hands. Bend in the knees, palms together, rising up bone by bone. Facing forward. Breathing deeply. What we do on one side, we need to balance out on the other. So separating your feet again for the other side. Nice wide stance. Arms up, parallel to the floor. And now your right foot out at an angle. Into a lunge. Looking past your outstretched right fingertips. And for reverse warrior, left arm around the back, reaching for the hip or thigh. Right arm up, arching back. And releasing this into a lunge. Right forearm resting on the thigh. Opposite arm up. And left arm around the back, twisting, looking up. And right hand down to your instep of the right foot. Opposite arm up, looking up. And lower both hands to your foot. Stepping back into downward facing dog. Walking your feet towards your hands. There's a bend in your knees as you place your palms together, rising up. Breathing deeply. As balance pose, let's do the eagle pose. Weight onto the left leg, bending that left supporting knee a little bit, wrapping your right foot around. Left elbows on top. Palms touching, lifting the elbows up slightly, decreasing the stretch across the upper back and shoulders. In the center of life's storms, I stand serene is the affirmation. And to come out first, uncrossing the arms, then uncrossing your legs. Again, pausing with eyes closed, focusing on the breath. For the other side, weight onto the right, finding your focal point, ideally at eye level or above, wrapping your left leg around. Right arm is on top of left. Twisting, palms touching, lifting the elbows up slightly. And untwisting your arms, uncrossing your legs. Pausing with eyes closed, breathing deeply. Let's also do an ankle twist. Great strength pose for the feet, ankles, and legs. Inhaling up onto the toes or onto the balls of your feet. The arms are parallel to the floor. Now we have to shift our focal point as we move sideways to the left. And slowly back to the center and to the right. And back to the center with the exhalation, lowering down. With the inhalation, let's sweep the arms up one more time, stretching up, looking up, focal point at the ceiling, arms up by the ears, big stretch. With the exhalation, slowly lowering down onto the heels, arms to the side, pausing with eyes closed. And let's sit down and lying down on our backs. You can fold your knees to the chest if you like, hugging your knees. Maybe rolling from side to side, gently massaging your back. Let's do some simple inversions. So bring the arms close to your side. Maybe even tuck your arms underneath your back if you can. The closer the elbows are together behind your back, the easier it is to hold your inversions. Then lifting your legs up, perpendicular to the floor. You can rotate feet and ankles a few times. Now you can lock your knees, legs are straight, there's no weight on the joints. Okay, to lock the knees. And bringing the feet and legs over your head. Lifting your hips with your hands, supporting your hips with your hands, or a simple inversion. You can stay here in the simple inverted pose or move into a shoulder stand by simply walking your hands further up your back till your body's in a straight line from your shoulders up. And begin to slowly, either from the simple inverted or from the shoulder stand, to lower your legs into a parallel plow. If you can, release your arms behind you, palms and forearms flat on the mat. If you like to do a full plow, setting the feet down above you, the arms around your head and circling your head like a halo, fingertips almost touching. One ear closer, bending your knees by your ears. You can bring your arms behind you, palms and forearms flat on the mat. Moving back to a plow or parallel plow. From either pose, let's do an inverted star by separating your legs. Bring your arms up, fingertips pointing to the ceiling and palms touching. Lower the arms again. Bring the arms behind you. You can clasp your hands for an advanced shoulder stand, or push the forearms into the mat. Bring your legs together and simultaneously lift the legs back up to a shoulder stand. And to come out, support your hips with your hands. You can bridge out, bring over one leg at a time, counterbalance with the other, or bend your knees close to the face and roll down bone by bone. Pausing for a moment, the knees are bent, the feet are flat on the floor. Breathing deeply. Let's do threading the needle or figure 4 pose, bringing your right ankle on top of the left knee or thigh. Reaching down with your right hand in between your legs, left hand on the outside, holding on to your knee. So if you can comfortably hold on to your knee, bring the hands up to the kneecap. If there's too much tension, hold on behind the thigh. And make sure that knee is pointing straight up to the ceiling, we're not leaning over to the side. Your eyes closed. Breathe deeply. And switching legs, opposite leg on top. Holding onto the right knee. important here to mention to stretch the shoulders to the mat. Try to keep the tailbone as well as the shoulders on the mat. And releasing the pose, lower the soles of your feet onto the mat. Knees are bent and the knees are hip width apart. We'll move into bridge pose. Lifting the hips up, reaching down, clasping your hands underneath you, and lifting one shoulder at a time, tucking your shoulder blades closer together. Placing all the weight onto the left foot, lifting your right leg, leading with the heel, and straighten that leg. Keep it straight as you lower it to a 45-degree angle. And lower your right foot and raise your left leg. And lower it to a 45-degree angle. And lower your foot. Let's move into a fish pose. The arms are still underneath us. Just release your hands, having the hands next to each other or very gently on top of each other. Straighten your legs. Legs remain relaxed as you arch the upper body onto your elbows. Bring the elbows a little closer together and then letting your head rest back. Head is barely touching the floor. Most of the weight is on the elbows. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. It's the affirmation. Make sure all the weight's on the elbows before you lift your head and let your back rest down. Pausing in Savasana for a moment. Legs are straight, arms are relaxed, palms facing up. Deeply inhale and exhale. With the inhalation, the navel rises. With the exhalation, the navel falls. Deep, slow abdominal breathing. Bringing your attention back. Rolling over onto your left elbow, left forearm. So left forearms on the mat. Stacking one foot on top of the other for the side plank and using your right hand to come up into position. Then bring that right hand to the waist, and if you can, lift it up to the ceiling, looking up past your outstretched hand. Then slowly lowering down, moving onto the opposite side, other elbow, other forearm down. And slowly releasing. And lying on our backs again, preparing for deep relaxation. If there's another stretch you like to do, perhaps happy baby, or just hugging your knees, massaging your back, rolling from side to side. Please do what you need to do to be comfortable for deep relaxation. And then find your relaxation position on your back. Sometimes it feels good to have the knees bent, have the soles of the feet together. Open the knees to the outside, right hand on the navel, left hand on the heart. That can be a very comfortable relaxation position. Or just the corpse pose, legs straight, arms by your side. In either pose, focus on your breath. Maybe you sense your breath at your nose, at your nostrils. Cooler air going into your nose, warmer air coming out. Or at your navel. That rises as you inhale and falls as you exhale. Deep, slow abdominal breathing. Let's begin by seeing, feeling, or imagining a soft white, mist-like light entering your room. It moves towards you and gently surrounds your beautiful physical form. This light lifts you up and it feels like floating on a cloud. Invite this light to enter the toes of your left foot, toe by toe. Into your ankle, lower leg, knee, thigh, and hip. Your left leg is completely relaxed. Now guide this light into the toes of your right foot, toe by toe. Right ankle, lower leg, knee, thigh, and hip. Both legs are completely relaxed. Now guide this healing light into your torso, entering your abdomen, your stomach, your chest. Allow it to move deeper inside, touching your internal organs with this healing light. Expanding out and filling your whole chest with healing white light. Now bring this light into your back, relaxing away tension from your lower back. Moving through the middle into your upper back, relaxing all tension away. This light now enters the fingers of your left hand, finger by finger. Left wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, and shoulder. Enters your right hand, one finger at a time. Right wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, and shoulder. This peaceful light enters your neck and throat, like a wave flowing into your face, relaxing your jaw, filling mouth and lips, your nose, your cheeks, filling your ears, touching your temples, moving into your eyes and into your forehead. This light moves inside your head, inside your brain, melting away thoughts and feelings. It leaves your body through your head, once more surrounding you, expanding out and filling your room with your peace. Expanding out further and leaving your room. Your peaceful light of consciousness moves through the city, over houses and trees, over oceans, mountains, and continents, into space, to infinity, keeping you completely relaxed and completely in peace. Enjoy this peace. Enjoy. Gently preparing to guide your consciousness back. Bring it back over houses and trees, back into your room, back into your physical form. Energy and consciousness fills your head, moves down into your face, feel it behind your eyes, down your neck and throat, into your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Vitalized energy and consciousness fills your torso from your chest, down to the stomach, all the way down to the hips, thighs, lower legs, feet, and toes. Moving fingers and moving toes, wiggling fingers and wiggling toes. Bring the arms up, double inhale, stretching up, double exhale, relaxing down. And you can roll over onto your favorite side, just lie there for a few more breaths. And then slowly but surely sitting up. Come into a comfortable cross-legged seated position. And let's rotate the shoulders again. Rotating head and neck a few times in each direction. Twisting to the left. And right away twisting to the right. Reaching the arms out and up, inhaling, stretching up high. And exhaling, palms to the chest. Thank you for joining us today. Namaste. My soul bows to your soul.